Before we get into this, I just wanted to say this. Love looks different for everyone. The way people feel cared for, valued, and connected depends on a lot. It could be their past experiences, the way they were raised, and or relationships that they've had throughout their life. So not everything in this video is going to apply to everyone the same way. But if this is something you relate to, you'll probably understand exactly what I mean. This series isn't about putting people into categories or putting them down. It's about understanding the different ways people experience love and connection. Today we're talking about physical touch. And what does that really mean? I mean, a lot of the time, people immediately misunderstand. They reduce it to something very surface level. But physical touch as a love language goes way deeper than that. For some people, physical touch is comfort, it's reassurance, it's safety, it's connection without needing words. Something as simple as holding someone's hand, giving them a hug, leaning against them, or just being in their presence. Physically close can communicate more than a conversation ever could, because for someone who values physical touch, love feels the most real when it can be felt physically. Now, why might this matter? I mean, from someone who doesn't understand this love language, it might not make much sense. Physical touch has a way of communicating emotions that words sometimes can't. A hug can calm someone down faster than advice to some people. Holding someone's hand can make them feel less alone without saying anything at all. For people who experience love this way, touch creates closeness. It reminds them that someone is there, that they are wanted, that they are cared for, that the connection they have is real. And it's not even about the big moments either, like small touch on the shoulder, a hug before you leave, resting your head on someone. Those little things can carry a lot of emotional weight. Now, a lot of the time this comes from past experiences. Maybe physical affection was comforting growing up. Maybe it was one of the only ways love felt clear and safe. Or maybe the exact opposite. It was missing completely, which makes physical affection feel even more meaningful later in life. Because when someone spends a long time feeling emotionally disconnected, physical closeness can become one of the strongest ways to feel grounded and connected to the person. In my personal opinion, I think this is one of the most misunderstood love languages because people often assume that physical touch is only about attraction or sex or things of that nature. But for a lot of people, it's emotional more than anything else. It's about feeling close, feeling connected, feeling safe with someone. When someone who values physical touch doesn't receive it, it kind of creates an emotional distance, even if everything else seems fine. Not because they're too needy or asking for too much, but because that physical closeness is how they experience reassurance and connection. And when someone who values physical touch goes without it for a long time, they can start to feel disconnected emotionally. Even if you say all the right things and the relationship technically looks okay from the outside, but because for them, touch is what makes love feel real and present. Without it, they might start questioning the connection. Not, again, because they need the constant attention, but because physical closeness is what helps them feel secure. And over time, the lack of it can create loneliness, even inside a relationship. The truth is, short and simple, it usually isn't that complicated. They don't need a perfect fairy tale type love. They don't need constant physical attention every single second of the day. They just need small moments of closeness that feel real and genuine. A hug that lasts a little longer. A hand on their back, someone pulling them closer without being asked. Those small moments saying things words sometimes can't. They say, I'm here, I care about you, you're safe with me, in a physical way. And to them, that means everything. Now, with all of these, it goes both ways. If this is how you experience love, it's important to understand that not everyone naturally expresses affection this way. Some people care deeply, but didn't grow up showing affection openly. Some people struggle with vulnerability. Some people simply express love differently. And that's why communication is so important. Not expecting someone to automatically understand your needs, but sort of helping them understand what makes you feel connected to them. Because love isn't just about intention. It's about learning how to make the other person feel loved in a way they can truly receive. One final thing I wanted to bring up before I let you go is physical touch does also include intimacy and sex. And I think it's important to talk about because for some people, sex isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's one of the deepest forms of connection that they can experience with another person. Not just because of the attraction, but because of the trust and the vulnerability that comes with it. For someone who values physical touch, intimacy can make them feel deeply connected and reassured and emotionally close to the person that they love. But at the same time, physical touch as a love language is not only about sex. And I think that's where people get confused sometimes, because someone can crave affection and hugs and hand-holding or comfort without everything always leading back to intimacy, right? Sometimes the smallest forms of touch mean the most, and when physical touch is only shown during intimacy but missing everywhere else, it can start to feel less like a connection and more like distance outside of real moments, real physical connection. It's about consistency. It's about feeling close even in the quiet moments as well. So at the end of the day, physical touch isn't just about contact, it's about connection. It's about comfort and reassurance and feeling emotionally close to someone without needing to explain it. If that's how you feel loved, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you love someone who feels that way, sometimes the smallest touch can say more than words ever will. I wanted to say thank you. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for being here. I really mean that. The fact that you took time out of your day to sit here and listen and connect with something like this means more than you probably realize. I don't take your time or your support for granted, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of you. That wraps up our series about the love languages. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you have a good day. And as always, stay rolly.